Well, here's a story. Perhaps two stories. We'll see. First story. This story was told to me by Rabbi Mendel Futafas, one of my beloved teachers. Here's a picture of him. I have another picture. Anyway, I don't know. I had another picture of him. Here we go. This is a picture of sort of a drawing of Rabbi Mendel Futafas. No, one second. There's a picture in here. Here we go. Here, nice picture. Huh? Okay. He told me that one day he went into school. This maybe was like, 5 years old. Now, in Judaism, children know how to read when they're 3 years old. They're taught how to read. They go to kindergarten where they're taught how to read. So by the time they're 5 years old, they already know how to read. Teacher went to his class, and the children were sitting in the class, 10, 15 children. Now, in those days, children had to bring ink to school. They had to bring ink. I remember even when I was a child in regular public school in America, the tables, you sit at a table, the table had a little hole in it, in the corner, a hole in it. What was the hole? In my time, they didn't do this. They had already pens, but right just 10 years before that, they had ink, right? They had a little ink bottle, and so children used to have to bring ink from home. In any case, so one of the children, he didn't bring ink from home, or it's spelled out, or he didn't have any. And so the teacher had his back to the class. He was writing something on the board, preparing for class. Everyone sat down. One boy, he turned to the boy next to him and said, "Can I have a little bit of your ink? I don't have any ink." And the other boy said, "Oh, I don't have enough for you. I have only enough for myself." And the other one asked the boy next to him, "Can you tell me, excuse me, can maybe you lend me a little bit of ink?" He said, "I'm sorry, I only have enough for myself. I don't have enough for you." So he asked, nobody gave him ink. So this boy what could he do? So the teacher turned around. He said, "Okay, today we're going to learn Aleph Beit." So the children sort of laughed, because the Aleph Beit they had learned 2 years before. They all knew what Aleph Beit was. He called on one of the boys, Yehuda, please open your Siddur to the point to the Aleph and the Aleph Beit. So he pointed to him. Here's a Siddur. Look here. See? Oh, so in the Chabad sidders, it could be in all sidders. I'm not that familiar with other sidders. In any case, here's the Aleph Beit, right? So what do we got over here? Oh, there we go. See? Aleph Beit. So the boy pointed like this. Let's get a pointer over here. There we go. Pointer. So the boy pointed like this, and he said, "This is an Aleph. This is a Beit." The teacher said, "No, that's wrong." So the boy said, "No, maybe he pointed wrong." He said, "This is an Aleph." The teacher said, "No, you're wrong." So the boy thought maybe he's not looking at it properly. So he pointed like this. He said, "See, this is an Aleph and this is a Beit." The boy was looking at it. See, Aleph, Beit. See? And the teacher said, "No, no, no, no." So everybody didn't know what to do. He said, Aleph, Beit, Gimel of Judaism is, Aleph is if your friend asks you for ink and you have, and he doesn't have, you give him a little bit. Beit of Judaism is if your friend asks you for ink and you have some, give him a little bit. And Gimel is if your friend asks you for ink and you have some, give it to him. That's the Aleph Beit. That's the basis of Judaism. That's the basis of the Torah. In other words, don't think about yourself. Think about yourself, but think about others as at least equally. He needs ink. Give him ink a little bit. You'll be missing a little bit of ink. Don't worry. There's also God is also present. God is also present. You're not alone. It's not just you and him. There's you and him, and there's God. God will figure it out. Don't have to give him all of your ink. Give him a little bit. Other people also give a little bit. That's one story. Here's another. That's an antidote to Amalek. Not thinking about yourself, thinking about others. Then Amalek is coldness. Coldness. Root, cold, to being cold. Karcha b'derech, that was cold. And I'll tell you another story, which I think I'd even told you the story yesterday. I'm almost sure I did, but I forgot because I told this other places also. In the time of the Tzemach Tzedek, the third Rebbe of Chabad, there was a very, very big, powerful anti God movement called the Maskilim, the what is it, Enlightenment movement, and from that eventually morphed out, Reform Judaism and communism and Zionism and all these others come out of it. There was one Jew, his name was Lilienthal. In the beginning, these Jews were very learned. They had learned the Talmud, and they would send people into different communities and integrate into communities, become teachers, become. And one of them wrote back to this Lilienthal. He sent out these different emissaries. He said, "Listen, we're having great success everywhere else, but in Lubavitch, I can't have any success." Says the women, even the women in the marketplace, before they even mention the name of the Rebbe, they wash their hands. They won't mention the name. In other words, they don't want to come close to godliness or anything that's close to the God of the Jews in any way that's not holy. They wash their hands before that. Water wasn't easy to come by, right? They washed their hands. Another one is, I understand this is Lilienthal himself, but I'm not sure. He went into the Tzemach Tzedek and he asked the Tzemach Tzedek, what does it mean that it says that Yaakov, when he went in front of God, he went in. I'm sorry. That Esav went in front of Yaakov, and it said that Yaakov was very afraid because the opening of hell was in front of him. What does that mean? He wanted to show that he was his erudition, that he knew Torah. And he says, what does it mean? It means that when a Jew pretends to be religious and he pretends to worship the Torah and he pretends to worship God, but really all he wants to do is just to snare Jewish children, is the hell opens up in front of him. He ran out of the room, he left, and he never came back. I understand that eventually he went to America. In other words, the Amalek is the force which wants to make you cold to godliness, even if you know that God exists and you're an expert in the Torah. And the only way to do that is somehow or other to be connected to Moses, to be Moshe, the Moses in every generation, or the essence of what Moshe is in the Torah. Total surrender to the truth, unconditionally, to the truth and what's good, even if you stand, God forbid, to lose everything, but the truth you can't lose. That is Amalek, and that's what we're remembering this Shabbat, to wipe them out. Have a good day with Mashiach now. See you all, God willing, tomorrow on Sunday morning, 8 o'clock. Shabbat Shalom.